Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is another MerMay speed paint, and according to my prompt list and the calendar, I am behind. I am currently supposed to be on day 18 when I'm filming this, and I have, oh goodness, 5 more? I just finished day 13, so 4 more? And then I'll be caught up for now. But I decided to sketch and outline this one specifically because he is the only guy on the prompt list that I made. And if you don't know who this is Cat Noir from Miraculous Ladybug, one of the cutest animations I've seen in a while. I'm not currently up to date on it, but my cousin fills me in until I can watch it again. And this episode specifically, I have not seen, and this is where their kwamis get the ability to go underwater, I'm pretty sure. So instead of Cat Noir, it's Aqua Noir right now. And like I said, I've not seen this episode. I kind of have a rough idea what happens, but I will definitely have to watch it. And this year, if you didn't see the first video, I did the introduction and day 1 speed paint, and I will link that below. But I made my own prompt this year because I never, out of the 4 years that I've done Inktober, I still haven't used the official prompt. It doesn't speak to me. I think the first year I did whatever I wanted. The second year I did Disney? No, that's not right. One year I did OCs. The second year I can't remember. The third year I did Disney? I think I did Disney. Or maybe that was last year. Anyways, I've done this a few years in a row, and I've never not finished, so there's a little bit of pressure on that, but not too terrible much. It's still a lot of fun to do. But like I said, this year I made my own prompt, and it's a non-Disney prompt because last year actually was the year that I did Disney ones, and so I didn't want to do Disney again. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Disney, but I didn't want to do it again. So I decided to do a non-Disney prompt list, and these are characters that either are mermaids throughout their whole series, or at some point, in some way, for some reason, in their show, they turn into a mermaid. So I have the prompt list here, and the first 6, actually 7, are always mermaids in their show. And then it goes into a few that turn into mermaids, are mermaids, into mermaids, are mermaids. So I think I have about half and half. And this guy here, I already love his character on the show. I think I've watched like the first 2 seasons. Fairly confident with that answer. Not 100% confident, but it's a higher number up there. And I love how flirty he is. He is such a goofball with Ladybug, and it's the cutest thing. And I just love his character. Adrian's okay. He is more... It kind of reminds me of Spider-Man, the first one that played Spider-Man, and he got into the costume, or he was afraid to get into the costume because people would see him acting silly, and he just, all this anxiety. But then he put on the costume and realized, no one knows who I am. I can do whatever I want, be the silliest little thing ever created, and no one knows because they can't see your face. So I kind of feel like that's Cat Noir and Adrian. Like, Adrian has this mood about him and his whole family dynamic, and he can't be that flirtatious character, But as Cat Noir, where he has a mask, which doesn't really cover much, but no one knows who he is with this little mask on. It's like Superman with the sunglasses, or the glasses. Anyways, he can be this whole other side of him. He can be braver. He can be a flirt beyond reason. And I kind of feel like that's Ladybug as well. Because Marinette is very shy and, well, at least around Adrian, very shy and soft-spoken. But as Ladybug, she's like, boy, get out of here. I'll take care of this. Stop flirting. Get to work. That kind of thing. So it just kind of, it's cool to see their different personalities. And now a little bit about the pictures since I've talked otherwise. This pose was the hardest thing out of the 13 mermaids pictures that I have done so far. Was the hardest. I've tried to pull poses from their original movie or cartoon or show or whatever they're from, just so there's not that pressure of finding the perfect pose. But for him, all of his poses were standing, and because of how big I draw and the size sketchbook I chose this year, all of them have to be sitting or crouched or something, just so they'll fit in the picture. So finding his pose was so hard. I think I spent 30 minutes just putting into Google every combination of pose and reference and staff, rod, fighting weapon, whatever, because I know his weapon in the show is a staff. So I was like, okay, he can be doing something with this. I know in his movie he kind of crouches on top of it, but then I couldn't find a pose for it. And with his little flippers at the bottom, I think it would look really silly. And I just kept looking and looking, and for 30 minutes, not even started drawing, just trying to find a pose reference. I think I finally settled on, I think it was a staff pose. I actually looked up Tarzan and Vines because he kind of has that movement with him in that, but none of those worked because he holds on to the vines with his feet and Cat Noir is wearing boots. So that wasn't going to work. And I finally settled on a pose. I think I found it on Google or Pinterest. I can't remember which one. And it's not exactly how that pose is. I kind of changed up the hand that's grabbing the top of the staff. And his feet aren't exactly how they were in the picture, but pretty close. And I was like, yes, I have this pose. We're good to go. And then I remembered his tail and his flippers. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't know if I left enough room for this, for these add-ons. Like the things on his arms, no problem. But I had to kind of flip up the flippers a little bit to fit on the page. And then for his tail, it kind of had to go down and then back up. And oh my goodness, the lines on the flipper and tails to give like that, it almost reminds me of like a computer chip vibe. Oh, they were horrendous. Please don't look so close at them because they are so off. And I actually forgot after filming this and already speeding it up once. I don't know if I'll speed it up twice. It's already a short video. I totally forgot to color in the circles and the belt buckles on his tail, but you know, that's alright. You're not missing much. And oh, I wanted to outline those parts because they kind of do have this translucent computer chip vibe to them. I wanted to outline it in a green outlining pen, but I was not at my apartment for this, where all my art supplies is and all my recording stuff. So that's why this is late, first off. And I couldn't outline it in green. It would have given such a cool effect with green, but I settled on a very light brown that I had. Is it sepia? Or is that the darker brown? I had two browns. I outlined him with the darker brown, and then the add-ons, the mermaid add-ons with the lighter brown, just so you could see a difference in them. And yeah, I used 3 different grays for him, which was, oh, it was so hard not to use black, and I finally did cave and do a little bit of black just in the creases and under the shadow and the zipper and stuff like that. Just little details, because it was just, he's a ball of gray is what this guy is. And I used a neutral gray for the lightest highlights, and then C7 and C9 for everything else, but it was just so dark, but not dark enough, so I added some black later. And the staff I just made straight up black, since I didn't use it mostly on his suit, and that would make it look different. For the translucent parts where something kind of goes over it, especially in the tail, I think actually the tail might be the only place it does this, I use C5, so I went just one shade lighter, so that it kind of has this translucent effect. And yeah, just a blue background, simple rectangle I've been using for all the ones so far. I have used like 3 different rulers, not that you probably care about this, but I keep misplacing or forgetting to bring my rulers, so I've used 3 different rulers, so if the measurements are a little bit off, that's what I'm gonna blame, is the rulers. But yeah, hopefully I can do at least one more recording for Speedpaint. I wanted to ultimately do 3 videos in May. So the first one was the intro plus day 1, and then he's the second one, and then the third one is the sketchbook tour. But hopefully maybe I can do one more Speedpaint. If I can, and it's later on enough, who would you guys want to see in a Speedpaint? I have quite a few options left. I'm pretty sure all of the Winx clubs are out, but from Aquamarine on, so 20 to 31, you can choose any of those, and maybe I can put a Speedpaint together. It might be a little late like this guy. He's 9 days late, but he finally got there, so that's what matters, is finishing the race there, buddy. Yeah, let me know. See if I can get one more of them Speedpaints out to you guys. So, this is nearly done. So I'm going to say bye. Thank you so much for watching. Not only this video, but other videos if you have watched them. If you haven't, and this is your first one, hi, how's it going? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I don't post often, but I am trying to, because YouTube, I don't see it as a career, but it is really fun, and I absolutely love watching Speedpaints. So I just want to give back and make some Speedpaints that someone else might like watching. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.